Q-Jin if she intends to push a dagger into her mother's heart. Spidey is confused, and Q-Jin says that it would still be nothing compared to the number of times Sanyong has hurt Woonhui, and this time she's ordered for his confinement and fasting. Sanyong tells her not to worry about that, and that right now someone has his back and is secretly providing for him. We see Q-Jin shaking with anger, and Sanyong tells her not to worry and just focus on the Dark Sovereign's visit. Q-Jin slams the table, asking if Sanyong thinks that's any reason to treat Woonhui like this, and she's sure Sanyong didn't even know someone was backing him, and that she was only trying to kill him. Sanyong wonders why Q-Jin is making such a fuss over a mere bastard, yet she's her own flesh and blood. Q-Jin says that all Sanyong ever says is bastard this, bastard that, and she hasn't changed one bit. Q-Jin says she has no choice but to reveal the truth. Sanyong pleads, telling her to wait as Q-Jin storms out of the building. Sanyong says that Q-Jin's righteousness has been her weak point ever since she was little, but it's gotten worse after entering the Kwangcheng sect. She wonders how Q-Jin will receive the position of successor if she's acting this way. Spidey wonders how to report this, because all he can tell is the family is dysfunctional as hell. Sanyong stands up, yelling, saying it's all that bastard's fault, and there's no need to wait until the Dark Sovereign's visit. She asks if someone's outside, saying she's going to head out. Spidey says that if she's going out of the house right now, it must mean she's going to visit a sorcerer. Back at the training area, Woonhui says it's been 10 days since he engraved the summoning order mark on the tavern, but there's no reaction at all. Even within this county, the demon-worshipping Divine Fire sect contacts should have had deployment information. Either the contact withdrew, or they can't act freely because of some restrictions. It's clear that the situation is not good for either side, and if he doesn't hurry up and become stronger, it's going to get worse. Gon says that Woonhui did a good job, and he sees that Woonhui is good at imitating the weapon arts as well. Woonhui asks if Gon is upset, and Gon says for a person of the Tang clan to learn weapon arts before the assassination and poison arts, he just doesn't understand it. Woonhui says that these Tang clan bastards are so narrow-minded. Woonhui says the dispersing flower staff technique is also a martial art of the Tang clan, and that's why it has been separated into parts like this. Gon is surprised that Woonhui's already noticed, and Woonhui asks if he's not Gon's amazing student who learns 10 things when he's taught one, pointing to himself pridefully. Gon looks grossed out, saying bro needs humility. Woonhui says that because many sects try to express their understanding of martial arts in specific forms, their movements of a signature technique often end up unnecessarily complex. However, the Tang clan is famous for their assassination techniques and poison arts, two martial arts that make use of tools. Therefore, the Tang clan's martial arts have broken their signature technique into parts, so no matter what tools are used, they could move to the next one. While the Tang clan's martial arts are far from flashy, they make up for it in practicality. Of course, the Tang clan system is the basis for successful assassination and effective poison usage. But his master's Heavenly Demon's 9 swords, which he wishes to learn, is also a signature technique that is broken into parts. The Tang clan's weapon art system may come in useful when he mixes it, and it could allow him to use his master's technique, which he can only dream of, more effectively. He's sorry to Gon, but the assassination techniques and poison arts will have to wait. Gon just wonders what Woonhui is scheming and tells him that Q-Jin has arrived. Woonhui starts to recall the original body's memories and that his older sister is the only person who ever treated him like real family. She was firmly engraved in his residual thoughts, and even after taking over the body, he's received multiple letters from her. They were all full of worries and affection, and he hopes that Q-Jin will have an okay relationship with him. However, he plans to become mortal enemies with Sanyong, and he wonders if Q-Jin will stay on her side after that. Gon says that today Woonhui is to go around greeting the elders in the clan, and Gon will return tomorrow. Woonhui sighs, saying he guesses so, and that it's going to be difficult to do this, and he should hurry up with his business before his older sister arrives. Gon asks if it's the thing Woonhui said he was going to start today, and Woonhui asks what Gon means by start, saying it's already completed. It jumps to Yuchong asking Hyung Sam if he has stuck to the pill creation method for the last 10 days. Hyung Sam says yes, he is absolutely correct, and Yuchong throws him a bag of money. Hyung Sam thanks him and quickly runs off. Yuchong then calls out to someone named Mu Yong, who asks if he only has to take care of Woonhui. Yuchong says yes. Since Woonhui has been consuming madness poison for 10 days straight, it's sure to have completely filled his system. Even if Woonhui's backer notices and tries to detoxify him, it will be difficult to fully recover before the Dark Sovereign's visit. Yuchong says they sent Gon as an instructor for appearance's sake, but he's putting a surprising amount of effort into teaching Woonhui. Even Gon took 8 whole days to learn the Shadow Steps forms. No matter how much Woonhui tries to train, Yu Chong is sure Woonhui will barely be able to learn one form before the Dark Sovereign's visit. The true issue is Woonhui's older sister. Yu Chong heard that as soon as she got home, she got into a huge fight with Sanyong, and there may be a setback in Yu Chong's current plans. Once she turns 30, she should officially become the successor of the 9 Dragons branch family. She has too much sympathy to become the Tang clan's branch family leader. She didn't learn the Tang clan's martial arts and immediately left for the Quangcheng sect. Despite all that, she became the 9 Dragon branch family's successor, and Yu Chong starts to smile looking to the sky, saying it should have been him. Someone then enters, saying that a letter has arrived from the White Pavilion, and Yu Chong says to enter. The dude says that it's actually a letter from Woonhui, but he seems a little nervous. Yu Chong asks what's wrong, tells him to hand over the letter, and it's pretty much just Woonhui cursing him out, saying let's throw hands. Yu Chong starts to hold back his anger, asking if the madness poison is already taking effect, and says it could be a plan set by Woonhui's backer. It could be a contraption that releases poison causing him to lose himself in anger once the letter is opened, which is something easily available within their clan. But then Yu Chong sees there actually is no special contraption on the inside of the letter. It's just Woonhui saying that he wishes to reforge the awkward relationship they have as brothers, and he wants to release any pent-up bad blood like martial artists through a spar. Yu Chong says Woonhui is obviously trying to pull some trick, and he needs to turn Woonhui into a stepping stone in front of the Dark Sovereign and use that as the foundation for his meteoric rise. Yu Chong tells his budget Hyung Sam that he has received the letter, and he's grateful for Woonhui's suggestion, but he wants to reject the duel. An hour later, Woonhui replies back, pretty much just calling him a small fry side character. Yu Chong laughs angrily, saying Woonhui must be in a hurry, and he'll likely continue to send things, so Yu Chong orders them to start rejecting the letters from now on. The next morning, when Yu Chong wakes up, he sees the words chicken shit on the wall in front of him. He tells someone to go out to the White Pavilion and tell Woonhui to head to the second training ground tomorrow at noon, and Yu Chong will gladly shove Woonhui's head into the shit pit. The next day at noon, we see Hyung Sam telling Woonhui about it, and Woonhui wonders why Yu Chong played so hard to get in the first place. God asks how Woonhui provoked Yu Chong but tells him he doesn't have to answer if he doesn't want to. Woonhui says he has no idea how he did it. Woonhui snickers, saying there's no way his brother will become patriarch with such little patience, and he asks Gon if he's going to try stopping him. Gon asks why he would, saying that it's about to be a very entertaining fight. Woonhui says he's going to make sure he just beats Yu Chong half to death, because he doesn't want to kill him. We get a flashback to Q Jin asking Yu Chong if he's really planning to duel Woonhui, wondering why he would do such a thing. Yu Chong tells her that Woonhui provoked him first, so if she has a problem with that, she should go find Woonhui instead. She's surprised that her brother would provoke Yu Chong first. That is what led us here to see her standing outside the White Pavilion, but she wonders what's going on with all this ghost and death ki emanating from the pavilion. As she heads inside, she's sure that this is exactly what it is, as there are multiple instances of death and poison ki staining the area in many places. It's like the dwelling of a martial artist that's gone to the outer path. She then feels a chill as there is ghost ki directly behind her. She quickly draws her blade and swings it behind her, aiming straight for Woonhui's neck. He manages to stop the blade, and she's surprised, asking if he is really Woonhui. He tells her that her greeting is a little violent, and she quickly apologizes, saying that she did try to stop it but didn't expect her attack to get stopped in the first place. Woonhui says that she just had to come in when he was doing his inner energy cultivation using the Venom Dragon Essence art, and he noticed her way too late. His plans will go bad if his current poison and inner energy levels are exposed to Yu Chong, and if Sanyong sent her here before his fight with Yu Chong, then this is going to be real bad. She says that she was worried because of what she heard their mother did to him, but she's really glad to see he's doing well, and she starts to smile. Woonhui says it's the same expression his master would give off, and he can tell she's truly worried about him. He says that it looks like she wasn't sent by the matriarch, and his head starts to hurt. She then drops her blade and immediately comments on the energy coming from him, asking him if he has fallen to the outer path. He asks if she's talking about the poisonous energy that he's learned, and she quickly covers her nose because of the aura. He tells her that it's cursed poison. In truth, it's a compound energy made of mystic power and poison ki made to look like cursed poison. It will be difficult to hide the mystic power and ghost ki of his Reaper's sight in the future. He needed a similar source to divert their suspicions. She asks why he's using cursed poison, and he sighs, saying that this is the only poison he can use if he wants to use poison ki without the support of the clan. She looks suspicious, and he says that he can tell she's not convinced. As a member of the Tang clan, pursuing strength is so natural that he would use anything that is available to him. He then widens his stance, telling her that if she's still dissatisfied even with that, then she should try to stop him by overpowering him. He starts to exude his aura, and she's taken aback, saying that he really has changed a lot. She quickly says that he's definitely different from before, and there's a reason why Mother and Yu Chong are wary of him, and he even knows how to say such stimulating things as well. He's immediately surprised by this, saying that her energy and killing intent are very familiar, and she starts to laugh, saying that he really is beyond her expectations, and she starts to blush. He says it's exactly as he thought, it's that energy, the seed of the divergent spiritual root, and among them, it had to be the blue ghost face root. He says there were many rumors in the past, and he wonders how Q Jin, the first successor of the family, became a disciple of the Quangcheng sect. He says it is a spiritual root that practically has a requirement of becoming a divergent, one that imparts ultimate talent to its possessor. However, the spiritual root is a root of the spirit, as its name suggests. That is why the spiritual root grows within the cultivation of the soul. This is something that aligns a lot of principles with the training methods of the Quangcheng sect, which puts emphasis on cultivating the mind. Most importantly, the blue ghost face root is a spiritual root that thrives on conflict. Mixed with the martial principle of the Tang clan, which is might makes right, she'll become a death demon that doesn't care about methods or consequences. He says he doesn't think she's in a position to comment on his energy when hers is in such a state. She immediately sheathes her blade and apologizes, saying she forgot why she came here for a moment, and she's sorry for drawing her blade and interrupting his training. He says she retracted the killing intent of the blue ghost face root so easily. Training from the Quangcheng sect will have played a part in it, but it seems that Q Jin is someone with very high self-control. He asks if she likes tea, and we see her drinking it, saying it's gas. She says she's enjoyed tea often in Quangcheng, but this is new. He says he procured it especially from Thousand Eye. She seems really happy, saying she didn't know he was so knowledgeable about tea. She reaches into a bag she brought, saying she brought this for him as it's candy sold in Mishan. She says last time he said he liked it a lot, but Woonhui says he doesn't really like sweet things, but he'll show his gratitude in the original Woonhui's place. She seems really happy that he enjoys it, but in reality, Woonhui says he can't get used to it. He can't believe that this is the same person who exuded a killing intent just a few minutes ago. He asks her what she's here for and tries to tell her that if she's here to stop his duel, but she cuts him off, saying that was one of the reasons, but she came here to apologize to him first for all the things that Mother and Yu Chong have been doing to him all this time. He says that he hopes she knows that her apology won't make him forgive them. She says that she understands, but she still wanted to do it anyway and that she really is very sorry. Woonhui sighs, saying even if she does that, he won't take back the duel. She says that she thought he was being pressured into it, so she wanted to stop him. However, it looks like Yu Chong is actually the one being swept up by him. But she asks if it will be okay, saying although his energy just now is great, Yu Chong is very strong, and she's heard that he's been preparing something else against him as well. Woonhui says she must know that they are planning something but not specifically what, and he drinks his tea, saying that he's prepared as well. Since they have fed him the madness poison, they must think that he'll be destroyed the moment they activate the sorcery. Q Jin tells him that even if he defeats Yu Chong, he can't ignore the power that Yu Chong and Sanyong hold in the clan. She says that if Yu Chong loses, their mother will do whatever it takes to conceal that fact. Woonhui laughs, saying she worries too much, and the duel is happening because it's what he wants, and she should come and watch tomorrow at the second martial stage. She's a little surprised but says sure. It then jumps to the next day as it's time for the fight. We see people selling food all over to the people who came to spectate the fight, as there's a whole crowd, and they're even betting on who is going to win and within how many strikes. Q Jin is surprised and asks Woonhui if this is what he was aiming for. He says yes, saying if it is like this, even the matriarch will have a hard time denying the outcome. Also, Yu Chong, who he looks at sitting over on the side, seems to have quite the stage fright, and as the older brother, Woonhui plans to help him out. As it gets closer to the time of the fight, Gon leans over the rail, saying that a lot of people have gathered. We are introduced to a couple of members of the Righteous Wind Hall named Tae and Jen. Tae says it seems like the young master has already decided to cause a scene. Gon says he didn't expect to see both of them here too. Tae tells him that they work here, and with as many people gathered to watch the duel between the two successors, it's only right to try and keep things under control and prevent accidents. Gon says that aside, he wonders what they think about who's going to win. Tae says that even if he helped Woonhui, It's only been 10 days. Jen also adds that he has no doubt Yu Chong will win. Gon says that everybody's probably here thinking that, but they shouldn't forget that it was actually Woonhui who arranged the duel. Surely it makes them curious as to what he's planning. Back to Yu Chong, he asks his budget Hyung Sam if that's everything. Hyung Sam says yes, and he heard Woonhui spread the word about the duel and even had the fierce Gale warriors open the gates for everybody to watch. Yu Chong says that at best, this will only be a match where he puts that illegitimate dog in his place, yet it looks like all of the merchants of the county are here to watch too. Woonhui starts to talk to him through some sound transmission, asking what's got him so worked up, calling him little brother, and asking if he's nervous because the matriarch isn't with him, calling him a mama's boy. Then he tells him that he should go and bring his mother as his big brother will wait for him. Yu Chong starts to get pissed, saying Woonhui should quit before his crudeness rubs off on him. In a mocking tone, Woonhui says to stop it, adding that mama's boy will only listen to kind and polite words. Yu Chong shakes with anger, yelling for Woonhui to shut the hell up. Woonhui continues mocking him in a baby's voice, saying, "I told you to stop." This snaps something in Yu Chong, and he yells, calling Woonhui an illegitimate mutt. He immediately leaps to the platform, telling Woonhui to come out. The spectators are surprised that Yu Chong came up first when Woonhui was the one who challenged him. Woonhui slowly heads up the stairs, saying Yu Chong is too easy to provoke and rile up, and he's only making things easier for him. They have their WWE standoff. Woonhui formally introduces himself, saying he's from the White Pavilion. He admits he might not have a title, and he's just a nobody, but he hopes they have a good match. Yu Chong starts to laugh, asking why Woonhui is behaving himself, and whether he's nervous now that he's actually on stage. Kyujin sighs after watching, thinking that while she taught Woonhui how to use sound telepathy, Yu Chong should have kept his cool. She overhears some of the merchants saying Woonhui's showing respect, but Yu Chong isn't. Kyujin notes that with this act, Woonhui has flipped public opinion, making it seem like he's the one accepting the challenge. However, in the end, the result of the duel is what matters, and while Woonhui seems confident, Yu Chong is also known as the Dark Shadow Genius and is a prominent rising talent in the clan. Yu Chong gets in Woonhui's face, saying those taunts are probably all he has, and Woonhui asks if he's only here to talk. This makes Yu Chong even angrier. As he reaches into his uniform, he says he doesn't know what tricks Woonhui is hiding, but things won't go his way. Yu Chong throws a smoke bomb to the ground. All of the spectators wonder why he would use that, saying now they can't see anything. Even Woonhui says he didn't think Yu Chong would use a smokescreen bomb, but it makes sense as using Shadow Ki in an open space like this without any cover wasn't the best idea to begin with. Yu Chong tries to attack from behind, but he strikes an afterimage as Woonhui uses Shadow Step. Woonhui asks if Yu Chong forgot Gon taught him this technique. Yu Chong immediately turns, trying to attack Woonhui again, but Woonhui dashes past him, saying it seems like Yu Chong sure did forget. Yu Chong says he didn't expect Woonhui to have already mastered it, but even if his mother thinks otherwise, he still has his father's blood. He claims Shadow Step is just a technique that complements Shadow Ki. As Yu Chong gets into his stance, he says he's going to show Woonhui the true meaning of Shadow Ki. He leans to his side at an insane speed and starts dashing around the entire arena like Bellamy from One Piece. Woonhui says this is a technique that melts one's presence into the shadows, making it impossible to detect them by sound or sight. He can see why Yu Chong is called the Shadow Genius, but he won't let that stop him. Yu Chong strikes at another afterimage, annoyed as he goes back for more, but every strike only hits a shadowy wisp which repeats for 3 attacks. Woonhui says Yu Chong can't deceive his Reaper's sight, and his murderous intent is way too obvious. He could still sense him even without relying on it. Tae is surprised to see Woonhui using Shadow Step at that level and notes Yu Chong's improved control over Shadow Ki, likely thanks to his secluded training. Jen wonders if Woonhui plans to dodge until the smoke clears, but Tae sighs, saying if Woonhui doesn't have a finishing move, it's just wasting time. Gon laughs, saying he taught Woonhui something for that finishing blow. Tae and Jen are surprised, asking if Gon went beyond what the Grand Matriarch asked of him. Gon wonders why they have so little faith in him, and they say surely he's aware they know him better than anyone else. As the fog settles and sunlight pours into the fight, Yu Chong hits another shadow clone, and insults Woonhui calling him an illegitimate rat. He says it's getting harder to use Shadow Ki as the smokescreen dissipates. Yu Chong dashes around again, starting to generate his own afterimages, saying that as long as Woonhui is in this ring, he won't be able to dodge this. Now there are multiple images of him float in the air. He uses the downpour of pear blossom needles, specifically the Heavenly Lady scattering flowers. Kyujin sees this and realizes Yu Chong is